All right, guys, it's me, Slimmy V. Let's get down and to the nitty gritty of this story that I have here. Um, okay, before I even continue, please hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe to the channel. If you had in your mind as to why people distrust this vaccine more than other vaccines, this story that actually came out in July 18, is something that should alarm you. I'm going to read this story, and it's about lawsuits challenging the DC law allowing kids to get vaccines without parental permission. Why are they doing this? Do they think they know better than us? Remember, I've always talked to you about when the government takes over, all right? The government will be the husband to your woman, okay? Or to the women. And it will be the fathers to the children. And the men that are left would get shoved to the side, okay? They know better than you, and therefore are going to make decisions that's going to keep your woman and your children safe. Now let's get to the news. Two lawsuits filed in DC federal court this month challenge a city law passed last year, okay, that allows minors to be vaccinated without their parents' knowledge, saying the legislation violates religious liberty. Hmm. The litigation comes as health officials across the country debate how much information minors should be given about vaccines, with at least one state seeking to limit teenagers' access to shots that would protect them from COVID 19 and other illnesses. In October, the district passed the Minor Consent to Vaccination Amendments Act, which allows children as young as 11 to get vaccines without their parents' knowledge if a doctor determines that they are capable of informed consent. Now I know 11-year-olds that don't even know how to wash their butts, right? Um, some 11-year-olds still can't walk down the block. Some 11-year-olds still pissed in the bed. I don't think 11-year-olds have the mental capacity to make an adult decision, such as getting a vaccine. That is something that should be left to clear headed thinking people. Some children, out of fear, might say, "Yes, give it to me." And this is wrong. We should not put our children in this type of situation. This is utterly, if I should say, stupid. Let me continue. The law was passed before coronavirus vaccines became available and was meant to allow teenagers to get shots such as HPV vaccines, which protects children against sexually transmitted infections that can cause cancer, and meningitis vaccine, which is recommended for teens. Now, even with that HPV vaccine, that they are leaving up to children to make that type of decision, I would say, why are children having sex in the first place? Children should not be having sex. And children should not be given the ability to make an informed decision, such as getting an HPV vaccine. Now, this actually gets a little bit scarier as you go down. I am going to post this down in the description below so you can read all of it for yourselves. But What I am going to read to you is going to shock you, and it's something I didn't know until reading this for myself. Let me see. There are actually four parents of children who attend or plan to enroll at DC public and charter schools who are suing Mayor Muriel Bowser, who is a Democrat, and other public officials, saying the law subverts the rights and duty of parents to make informed decisions about whether the children should receive vaccinations. They should sue. They should stand up for their right. They should not be sitting there thinking, all right, you know what, the government knows best for what came out of your body. Um, the parents fear that if they send their children to DC schools in person, their children will be pressured by teachers and peers to seek vaccination without their parents' knowledge, according to the suit. Why wouldn't you think that? They want to allow children to make these type of decisions without your consent. Of course they're going to pressure them. A spokeswoman for Bowser said the city could not comment on pending litigation. The law was enacted last year without the mayor's signature. Wow. The suit did not identify the religious affiliation of the parents who say that it would violate their faith if their children were immunized. See, look, I'm a Christian, and this is not really about a faith based decision. This is about a trust decision. Do these vaccines really work, and what type of long term effect it has on us or our children? What type of generational effect it has? I'm going to make another video that talks about that. Mind you, this is from the New York Post, just to let you know. I need to find Jesse Hill. Okay, I'm right here. Jesse Hill, a case Western Reserve University law professor who has written on children's legal rights to make some medical decisions for themselves, said that if the DC cases make it to the court, they might pose novel questions on whether parents can impose their religious beliefs on children who disagree. They are literally fighting for children to make these type of decisions for themselves. This could lead into a decision whether a child say, you know what, I'm making an informed decision that I want to be with an older man. You see where I'm getting at? You see where this is going? Many of you probably thinking to yourself and saying things like, this will never happen. But it take one little bit of law that's enacted in Washington, D.C. to now push this agenda that a child as young as 11-year-old might seek an adult and say, you know what, I'm gonna take my HPV vaccine. I am having sex with older men or older women, and I just want to make sure I protect myself. Because if you could make an informed decision on whether to vaccinate yourself, maybe they might say, you know what, you could make an informed decision on who you want to have sex with. Right? I'm just laying it down the middle. Let's see. This is a whole uncharted territory. Does the parent have a religious right essentially to override the child's religious beliefs? It's a child. We have the big question, and it's our child, our children. I don't have an informed decision to make a decision over someone else's child, but that parent have the power to make decisions over their children, right? We have this big question mark about whether parents, especially when the minor is considered mature and able to make their own decisions, still have a right at this. Okay. All right. You see, this is where they're dumb. This is where they're stupid. When we, as human beings, right, women, when these women are pregnant, right, they're pregnant with a human being that have a heartbeat. All right, but that human being inside that have a heartbeat does not have an informed decision to, like, they don't have the power to say do not abort me. But outside of the belly they do as an 11-year-old. So they have the power to make decisions and override their parents' religious belief that is placed on them. I don't care what belief it is, right? If it's not hurting you, right? And I see a parent saying, you know what, I do not want to vaccinate my child because I don't know what effect this may have on them. I don't see this coming from a place of harm. I see this coming from a place of love, right? Because they care for their child in that manner that I'm going to make a decision to protect my child, to allow my child to make the decision when they are 18 and up, when they have lived life enough or experienced enough to know better, right? Not an 11-year-old. But at the same time, you're going to make a decision to abort your child or give women the power to abort a child. The same child, when he or she is 11-year-old, can make an adult decision? Make it make sense. It gets scarier. This gets scarier. I don't know why this wasn't spoken about enough in the mainstream news media. And of course, you know me, and my whole schnick is to go against the mainstream narrative. Check this out. This is the scary part. I'm going to highlight this. Because the DC law allows healthcare providers to leave students' immunization records blank. I'm going to read that again. I'm going to discuss this. Because the DC law allows healthcare providers to leave students' immunization records blank, the lawsuit said it helps create a separate record that does contain vaccine administered under the act, but cannot be transmitted to a parent. Let me keep reading. The lawsuit, which asked the court to declare the law unconstitutional and stop the city from enforcing it, was brought by Children's Health Defense, an organization run by anti-vaccine activist Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who was supported debunked vaccine theories and who has supported debunked vaccine theories and is listed as an attorney on the complaint. You see how they want to frame this? Because John F. Kennedy Jr., who wants to protect these children, okay, and who is somewhat of an anti-vaccine activist, right? That's how they want to frame it, as he is the attorney on this complaint, right? And there were certain things that was supposedly debunked. Supposedly, because that's my next video, right? John F. Kennedy supposedly supported certain facts that were supposedly debunked. So that's how they're trying to discredit this whole fight. This is a fight that should be fought. Now, they want to force vaccinate your children without your consent and not let you know. They want to leave it blank so you do not see that they were vaccinated. Did you hear what I'm saying right now? Can you read this for yourself? Check this out. The suit followed another, also filed in D.C. court by a Maryland man who said his daughter sought a vaccine in a district without his knowledge and despite his religious objection to vaccines. The plaintiff daughter, okay, now 16, suffered a severe reaction to a vaccine when she was 5 years old, okay, according to the suit. However, in April, she went to MedStar Georgetown Pediatric to get a vaccine for tetanus, diphtheria, and pertussis, so she could attend camp, the suit said. So basically, what is really happening? Okay, check this out. At MedStar, a doctor coached, coach her on lying in relation to receiving the shot, according to the suit, which was filed July 2nd, when a teenager became nervous and decided not to get vaccinated. The doctor and nurse positioned themselves in the room such that she felt trapped before she was able to leave without receiving any vaccines. You wonder why people not trusting this whole vaccination thing? You wonder where this is going? I'm going to leave it right there. The DC law allows healthcare providers to leave the students' immunization records blank. Okay? A separate court does contain vaccine administered under the act which cannot be transmitted to a parent. They will vaccinate your children and not let your parent know. This is, I'm going to post this. I want you to read this for yourself. Spread this. Let people know. I am trying to be as informative as much as possible. So please share this. Children's independent access to vaccine varies widely by state. Some state allows minors to get vaccinated without parental consent only when they are seeking the HPV vaccine, not other immunization recommended for their age. This, in my opinion, is wrong. Some states allow youths to make independent medical decisions at certain age, such as 16 and up, but not as young as the district law allows. In Washington, it's as young as 11. In other states, it varies. In other states, it's only the HPV. Okay? And they are, I believe, this is the state that, yeah, they want to vaccinate your child without permission. Yo, peeps, get on your game. Stand up for what you believe in. If you are a father, if you are a mother who have children, stand up for their rights. Don't let the government take this type of control over our lives, over our children. This is dangerous. This is dictatorship. We have to stand up and fight. Anyway, I don't know how many people that are being vaccinated. Look, if you are, seek your doctor's advice. Do what you need to do to feel safe or to make others feel safe. But in my opinion, I see this is taking a turn for the worse. This is going in a direction that I somewhat predicted and was called a conspiracy theorist for doing so. But If you're not offended, you probably wasn't watching or listening. All right. I'm Slimmy V, and this is the most offensive podcast ever. God bless, stress less, and let Yahweh do the rest. I'm out. Peace.